My name is Tanya Stedman. I have two girls, Natalie Stedman and Lexis Stedman. Lexis is 14, Natalie is 17. They both attended Seeds of Learning. Natalie from the age of 4 and graduated out into kindergarten. Lexis from the age of 2 and graduated out to kindergarten. Both of my girls were considered high risk in the areas of they were foster adopt, and they both had very traumatic experiences beginning their lives, but they are wonderful girls, and with the help of Seeds they blossomed. My girls love seeing all their old teachers, remember them all, constantly talking about wanting to go back to Seeds of Learning for their schooling, and just a wonderful, wonderful school, well worth everything that they can get in any way we can support them. The Seeds of Learning style has definitely impacted them in that they are able to express themselves. They learned self-control, they learned sharing, they learned how more than themselves are involved in their learning, as well as everyday life, and to be respectful and kind. It also learned them to self-regulate themselves and their different emotions. For Lexis, there was some wonderful opportunities that Seeds was able to help us with in her speech. Because when Lexis came to us, she was not speaking, wouldn't really look at you, wouldn't talk much at all, and we went from that to a whole totally different child, happy, bubbly, very connected with her teachers. Seeds definitely benefited me as a working mom, because I wouldn't have had a place that I felt safe to leave them, because they did need so much more attention, being that they were at high risk, and the things that they needed from attention, from direction, I couldn't have gotten that from anyone else. Definitely early education was very much needed for my girls, because they are at a high risk, or were at a high risk. My girls both are very smart and talented. Lexis loves photography, and then Natalie is, and always has been, an animal lover, and she is doing working with horses right now, and she has talked about becoming a vet or a veterinary technician. Just things that I know if it hadn't been for Seeds, they wouldn't be able to have the opportunity to do.
It's always, in anything that you do, it's always very important to have a strong foundation, and the sooner you start that, the better whatever you build on top of that foundation is going to be. So naturally, starting at Seeds, I had a very strong foundation. Some of the friendships I made in Seeds I still have today. So yeah, it set me up really good for public school. As ridiculous it may sound, like even just like basic social skills, you know, like how to like make friends in preschool, even if like you can barely remember it, or like, you know, the alphabet, sharing, simple stuff like that. It's amazing how like just kind of learning those few things, like planting a seed, will just, as you grow, will grow with you in your mind, and I think it just makes a better person out of you in the end. My parents, as long as I can remember, have always been incredibly hardworking, pulling late nights, early mornings, every day of their lives since pretty much I was born. And, you know, naturally, if that's the case, the whole having another kid thing would be very difficult and taxing on their minds. So having Seeds in the community is awesome, because it's like a perfect place to be able to send your kid, not only just so you can focus on raising them in your own way, in your own parenting way, but also because while they're there, it's not just wasting time. They're learning, they're building skills at a very young age. It's phenomenal. I've built so many great friendships. I'm run cross country for 4 years now. I got first place at a meet just last week. It was amazing. I'm learning to play 3 different instruments. I mean, it's crazy to see how you can just go in such a short amount of time, you can go from someone who you wouldn't even recognize. I mean, I know today for certain that I'm more confident. I mean, if you would ask me to do Dancing with the Stars, learn, like try out a new instrument, you know, go talk to some stranger I'd never met before, run cross country, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't even have considered. The fear in my head would have shut it down like that. But, you know, over the course of the past few years, I've grown so much that it's amazing. I can't even put it into words.